Should I date a woman I'm not physically attracted to? No. There are certain people, they're like, physical attraction is not that important to me. I cannot relate. If it's you, you would know by now. Come on. Stop trying to mess with stuff, tinkering with stuff. Ain't supposed to be tinkered with. Whatever it is that you really need is okay. Now, let me give you some caveats. If the people you like don't like you, Hey y'all, welcome to Boundaries and Grace. Let's move on. Communication skills. This person just said communication skills. Number one, you should probably, I see you need them because you gave me no context. You just said communication skills. Just give it to me. And that's part of some people's problem. You want people to start reading between the lines or cook something up for you. And you just said, I just want dinner. Well, what do you like? What do you not like? What are you allergic to? See, this is how you know this person don't really have communication skills. They just said communication skills. What? That's one of the most broad things But what's funny is a lot of people when they come to therapy, especially for couple issues, they're like, we have communication problems because they don't even know how to describe what's going on between them. Can't even say I'm feeling disconnected. I feel lonely and hurt. We have communication issues. That's how I know we got problems. Okay, everybody, we got communication issues. What the hell does that mean? Is somebody aggressive? Is somebody distant? Is somebody withdrawn? Is somebody anxious? Is somebody, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Exhibit A, talking about you put communication skills in the little question box. I have no clue what you're talking about. And apparently, probably so does the person you in a relationship with. They ain't got no clue. You just come in there talking about, I'm sad. We have no idea what's going on or why or where it came from or how long or what do you need. We don't even know. And people just stop trying to figure it out. They be like, okay, well, just sleep on it. Okay. Let's get serious. Okay. Let's get serious. Let me give you some real advices here. How can you get better at this? Process your internal thoughts with someone who can help you to make sense out of them with you. So seriously, you can come into therapy or coaching and say, I don't know how to describe what's going on. I just know that I need help. That's truly what a professional, one of our jobs is, to help you to make sense out of it. That's not the job of the person you're dating or in a relationship with or you're getting to know. It's really not their job. It's actually a big ask for someone to go into your brain and try to unlock it without feeling invasive or overwhelmed or burdened by it. So process your internal thoughts with someone who can help you to make sense out of them with you. Because listen, this is a real fact, okay? The level of coherence that you have about your own internal thoughts will be reflected in your communication with others. In other words, the clearer you are with you, the clearer you communicate with other people. When I know, I don't have to know how to solve my problem, but if I know how to describe it, you'll know where I'm at and how I feel and what I think. So the more coherent I am about what's going on inside of me, the clearer I communicate with you. So I'm recommending that you take some time with someone to help you make sense out of what you're even asking for. What's wrong? You might not know how to describe it, but let's try to figure it out. So that's one thing for someone who's looking for communication skills. Next thing, and then we're going to move on to question number 7. We've got 10. Consider things like, here's some keywords for you, okay? Consider things like nonviolent communication. There's a book on this. I think if you literally just Google nonviolent communication book, it will come up. So, and that is, people love it, okay? It helps to give you a framework for how to communicate in a way where people can hear you, where you're clear. Consider things like nonviolent communication. Look into things like creating a safe emotional space. I have an episode, I think it was like a 2 or 3 part episode in season 10 called How to Be an Emotionally Safe Person. Okay, SIFT. Or it might have been one episode. Well, I don't know. SIFT, SIFT. So I gave you an acronym, 4 letters. So I would go back, listen to that. Look into creating a safe emotional space. That'll help you with your communication skills. Because a lot of times when someone's talking about communication skills, there's like hard and soft skills. Okay? That's what I call it. Hard skills, like literally, how do you order the information so that it's clear and concise for someone else? I consider that a hard skill. It's like strategy. Okay? Soft skill is like, How do I show up in a way where I'm open, where I am non-defensive, non-offensive? That's like an energy that you're bringing. It's a mindset that you have. Okay, it's a feeling of safety that you have inside yourself. I consider that a soft skill. So I even need to know when someone's like, I just need communication skills. I need to know, like, what are we lacking? It's probably both. Okay, a little bit of both. But for you to be able to kind of like have a framework of that for yourself can be really helpful. Like, okay, I need to know how to say it. I also need to know how to be in an emotional and mental space to say it so that I feel safe to say it. Okay, or confident to say it. I'm looking at things like how to be assertive rather than aggressive or passive aggressive. There's a lot of things we could say about communication skills, but I just want to throw you out a couple of like terms or things that you could look into yourself. Obviously, because I'm not talking to you personally, I kind of have a very vague, like, general sense of what it is that you need and where you should go. All right, y'all. We have a situational question, and then we've got a question about how I deal with negativity online, the condescending nature of the question, who hurt you, and navigating STIs and STDs in the dating space. Here's the situation. I actually really loved this question. This person asked the question on a comment, and I asked them to submit it for the Q&A so that we could talk about it here. Here's the situation. Should I date a woman I'm not physically attracted to? I've met women who I connect with on a personality level, but I'm not attracted to them. I feel guilty for this. In all honesty, I want looks and connection. What are your thoughts? Should I date someone who I'm not physically attracted to? No. Nope. The last episode I did, vulnerability and attachment and dating, I gave you 4 things I think you could consider when determining if someone's a good investment for you. And one of those things was attraction. I think it was actually the first thing. That's something we could just, yes or no. Yes or no. I'm physically attracted to you or I'm not. You need to be attracted. Okay? If you're not attracted, like someone said earlier, you're going to regret it later. You're going to turn it against that person. Either insulting them. I had somebody, I don't even know if I should say it. Cuz I'll just say it in general. I've had several people tell me this, okay? That they tried dating someone that they weren't attracted to, and it does come out. In conflict, you're going to be looking at them like, I know for a fact you're not talking to me like that. I know you not talking to me like that. Insulting them, it's not funny. It's rude as hell. But insulting them, treating them poorly, cheating, because you like, I don't even know how to be here. And that's when it gets real toxic. Real toxic. I know. You should be lucky I'm even talking to you. See what I'm saying? And it don't even matter what they're saying. They could have a good point too, right? They could be right. They might be right. And you'd be like, can't see past it. Okay? Let's be real with ourselves. Let's be real with ourselves. If it's something there are certain people, they're like, physical attraction is not that important to me. I cannot relate. If it's you, you would know by now. Come on. If it's you, you're not 14 years old trying to figure yourself out. Well, I know you're still trying to figure yourself out, but not like that. If it was you, if you really somebody that you don't need to be turned on like that, you would know by now. Stop trying to mess with stuff, tinkering with stuff. It ain't supposed to be tinkered with. Whatever it is that you really need is okay. Now let me give you some caveats. If the people you like don't like you, the people you like too fine. They too fine. Let's be honest. Let's be reasonable people here. If the people you like consistently do not find you physically attractive, you can try to, adjust and be like, maybe I should go down a little bit lower and get more of my speed. Let me get more realistic. Okay, you can try to do that. Or y'all, I like people like this. You try to look better. Go look better. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say. I don't. I think if people you like don't like you, or they don't think you got enough money, they don't think you're together enough. That could be man or woman. Women, some of you, we don't talk enough about women being broke. Okay, and he like, look, I know I'm gonna be taking care of the family, but you can't be out here like you a drain like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a drain. So anyway, why don't you go try to look better? What do you need to do? What do you need to do? You need to go to the gym. You need to maybe update your clothes a little bit. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, you got to kind of grow up the wardrobe a little bit. You feel me? You understand what I'm saying? Like you look 40, dress 20. Not a good look. You need a different haircut, different hairstyle. Hmm? Feet crusty? You need a little pedicure? What do you need to do? So again, whatever you want, fine. I don't think we should be necessarily talking people out of their standards or preferences. But so if the people you think is really good looking, they don't think you good looking, you need to look better. You need to look better. Figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. And when you start to look better, they're going to start to look at you a little bit differently, okay? Look, thank you, Jerome. Screenshot. Okay? He said, free game. I got too many long tees. Thank you, Jerome. We got too many long tees. Definitely should not be seeing your boxer shorts, your briefs. I know you're not out here 38 years old. Wind blowing through the crack. Huh? I know you're not out here like that. Looking at somebody fine, talking about, well, women are so stuck up. They really shouldn't be looking at you, sir. They really should not be looking at you. You look like a liability. You look like you're causing some problems. Cut it out. Y'all can get some like real man shorts. Some khaki shorts. You got these silly looking hats on your head. You got some silly hats because you won't go get a haircut. You got these hats. You got the Chicago Bull flat brim hat floating up top of your head. Skin ashy. You got the nerve to be on here, sir, online, talking about women ain't work. They act all stuck up. They don't want to talk to nobody. Hell no, we don't. Hell no. No, we don't. No. No. We need to get it together as a community. Black people especially. Okay? Women, you looking like Sexy Red on a Tuesday morning. What in the world? You shouldn't be wearing all that neon, all that highlighter green out like it's normal. It's not a normal color. It's not a normal color. And by the way, speaking of normal colors, can we just get some natural hair color? Y'all see, I got the pony. I gave you drama today. It ain't red though, is it? It ain't a big blonde yellow. Y'all be getting yellow. It's not even blonde. I like a little, you a little blonde, little highlight, stuff like that. Yellow though. Pink, red, purples, teal, turquoise. Like a color that comes out of a Crayola box. I need you to bring back neutrals. Neutrals. Okay? Neutrals. Neutral and natural. Let that be your damn mantra for the fall. Okay? Neutral and natural. Watch your experience be a little bit different. You don't gotta retire the yoga pants, but do you sometimes wear other pants? That's the thing. Do you sometimes wear other pants? Do you have some jeans that fit? Get some normal shoes. Get some real shoes, y'all. Everybody need to grow up. Once you kind of just do it a little bit and you see it's a different experience, you're going to be more motivated to do it, okay? You don't got to be dressed up everywhere you go, right? But you can even be dressed down and still together with a little bit of intention, for goodness sake. Okay? You can be dressed down and still a little bit together. Jerome, are you saying you have long nails? You said long nails are your downfall? Okay. Yeah. Jerome, go ahead and get some nail clippers. If you're not willing to to show up better, don't be surprised when you get what you get. Just don't be surprised when you get what you get. If you're like, well, I'm not a man or a woman. Well, I'm just not going to do anything. They just gonna have to. They just gonna have to accept me. Okay, well, okay. King Alfred said, "We can't be too irritated because we got to set the tone as men. The men of generations past allowed this." You know, I like the accountability, and we need that on both sides. So that's I like balanced conversations, right? Like all of this stuff didn't just happen. This is accumulation of a lot of weird behavior. All right, how do I as me, Taylor, navigate the negativity I get with the content I deliver? Real quick, I take breaks now. I take plenty of breaks. I remember that people that are doing things or saying things publicly get negative comments all the time. Literally, no matter who they are, like they're gonna get people who are negative. Like no one's getting everyone agreeing with them. And I also look at profiles sometimes and see who I'm dealing with, and then I remember, oh, someone will say something crazy, and I click the profile, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It ain't nothing I could do. Okay. It'll be people who got cats as their profile picture. They got one follower because they just keep making new Instagram accounts because they troll. Yeah, you got to consider the source. A lot of them ain't got no sense. Ain't got no sense. They just giving what they got. Ain't a whole lot. Ain't a whole lot. Point blank, I really don't take it very seriously. I love like when people are really trying to have like real conversations, right? And something really does come up that they think differently about or have a question about or whatever. Like all that's great, but when it's people that are just like being negative Nancys and negative Neds, like they be looking so crazy on there. I'm like, why would you even call attention to yourself? I'd be like, oh God, goodness gracious. I click those profiles. I'd be like, goodness, why would you even want me to see this? You know what I mean? I'd be like, why would you even want me to? Why would you even say that? Why would you even want people to click that? And that's how you know they're crazy. That's how you know, because someone should be like, I have shame. Someone should be like, I have shame. I don't want nobody. Let me not put nothing out here. Let me not say nothing. See, if you don't even know how low you got, how low you have dropped, when you don't even know, this the most dangerous people out here saying all kinds of stuff and don't even know to don't even know that's the time when you got to be like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get myself together and let me move in silence. Okay, let me move in silence because I don't want nobody to see this. I do not want anybody to see this. I don't want anybody to see this. But when somebody don't even know that they should be kind of, take a little hiatus, get yourself together. They don't even know, and they calling attention to themselves. That's somebody that they on the verge. That's signs of crazy right there. You don't want to get in too deep with them online because those types, they start sending you emails and start getting real crazy. Start sending you all kinds of DMs and stuff. It's real nuts. Okay, because they're not really here with us. You feel me? Because they're really not with themselves. They really kind of lost in the sauce. Ooh, they be so crazy. I click those profiles. Goodness gracious. This did not look good. I be wanting to offer services. Like, it look like you, how can I help? Because, goodness. I'd be upset too if it looked like, if I was out here looking like this. I'd be, I might want to take my anger out on somebody too. I was looking like this, acting like this, people like this around me, in places like that, looking like so silly. I might be prone to do a little bit something out the ordinary too. A little something antisocial. The condescending nature of the question, who hurt you? People ask this question, who hurt you? I mean, this person really gave me a lot of content. Here's what I got on this, couple things. Now, look, if you say, basically this question usually comes up when someone starts experiencing some weird behavior from you, right? And who hurt you? It's rude. It's as hell. It's rude as hell. So look, if you really, because I'm being serious, if something's really going on between you and another person and you're really wondering, like, where does this come from? Ask the question in a more empathetic way. Okay? Because who hurt you is pretty offensive and puts people on the defensive. I don't know if it's always a deflection, although it can be, Wes. So I want to talk about it like for real. See, this is Black Magic's favorite question. So it can be a real question, and let me just talk about that real quick. You might ask the question instead like this, okay? When this comes up or when this happens, you seem to react this way. Do you notice that? Pause right there, because you got to first see, did this person even see how they acting? When this happens, this seems to happen next. Do you notice that? And then asking, is there something about what I'm doing that bothers you, or how are you interpreting my behavior? It seems like when I try to make plans, you're resistant. And I want to know, like, do you notice that too? Okay, yes or no. All right. I want to know, how are you interpreting my behavior? Essentially what that's getting at is, do you take me as like controlling? Do you take me as smothering? Do you think I'm trying to like, what is it? Okay. And you allow, and so it helps someone to actually tell their story it helps someone to actually give you some context. They might not be aware that they're behaving in a certain way. Someone might have really genuinely hurt them. Okay. And it's something that you're doing is triggering. And rather than just being like, well, who hurt you? Like, who really about to give you who really feels safe with a question like that? Ask like that. So you want to give a little bit more space, a little more empathy, some more room for compassion there. Okay. Yeah, I get that, Ryan. Okay. Yeah. Why so serious? Who hurt you and why so serious? It's antagonizing, gentlemen. It's really antagonizing. Can y'all see that? It's antagonizing, and it can shut people down rather than opening people up. Okay. It sounds pretty judgmental. Okay. And no one likes to feel that way. You don't like to feel that way. Right. Let's move on. Last question, y'all. Navigating STIs and STDs in the dating space. How to have a conversation about sharing test results with potential partners. Last question, y'all. Y'all, let's have a quick conversation about sexual health, okay? Because some of y'all, again, if you missed the first part of this live, some of y'all have not been on not had a conversation about sexual health since damn high school, okay? And you out here doing stuff. You coming back with some stuff, or other people are coming back with some stuff. Anyway, let's talk about it. First thing, I highly recommend, y'all, if you are out here in the dating world, I highly recommend that you ask explicit questions about STDs and STIs. I highly recommend. This is not the time to be concerned about how somebody gonna take it. Now, I'm not saying out the gate. This is not necessarily a first date question, but it can be. If you want to do it on first date, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. This is something that needs to be discussed in an explicit way. Okay? This is not the time to be like, I don't want somebody to feel like I'm judging them. It's not a judgment. We're talking about facts. You got some or you don't. All right? We're not talking about all the meanings behind it and what I think about it and perception and all of that stuff. But this is about your health. You can get something that stays with you for the rest of your life. It doesn't mean that it's deadly, but it can be something that you have to live with for the rest of your life. Your health is so important, okay? Your health is so incredibly important. I highly recommend that you make STDs and STI questions an explicit part of your dating conversation. So you can ask someone about their last test date, and you can ask to see the results. I recommend, especially if you don't have a history with this person, like it's not your childhood friend that you really feel like you got some trust with them, okay? And typically it's not that person, right? So I highly recommend that when you have this question with a stranger person, that you physically see the results. You physically see the results. If you want, and I think you need to decide how tangible it needs to be, like how physical it needs to be. Can they email it to you? Okay, can they email it to you, or do they need to show up with it in person? I don't think there's anything wrong with either way. I think you just need to understand what you need to truly feel confident and secure in that. Okay, I think you should. I think you should ask to see the results from someone that you do not know, or you can go with them to take the test, and y'all can take the test together. I think one thing that's important is that you don't make it like, I know I'm good, but I want to make sure you good. So if you gonna ask somebody to show theirs, you need to show yours. You need to show yours. Now you know what you've been doing, and they know what they've been doing, but y'all don't know what each other's been doing. Yeah, make it a group project. Let's go together. Let's go together. And if you got an issue with it, now that's very, very telling. And if you're gonna be okay with somebody having an issue with it, and you're gonna let that stop the whole show, that's on you. That's on you. If you asked and they said, I don't really want to do that, and you're like, well, since they don't want to do it, I guess like I can't make them, and you just keep going, that's on you. I don't want to hear none about nothing. I don't hear nothing about how, I don't want to hear nothing after that. Y'all can go together. If anybody has hesitation, you ask, like they're treating it like a body count question, which is a different question, y'all. I'm not talking about that today. I'm not talking about that today. Don't do it. Okay, we're not going to go down that road. But we're not talking about judgments, okay? About, well, we're talking about like, we just need to know, we don't know each other, and this will help us both to feel confident and safe and, going forward if we're going to be physically intimate. You can go together. If someone has resistance, you need to be smart about how you handle that. I would be red flagging the hell out of somebody. Now it's personal. I'm gonna go personal perspective right now. I'd be red flagging the hell out of somebody who has resistance to doing that. Now that doesn't mean that someone's necessarily hiding something. It can mean that they just feel like it's invasive. But you having sex with them, that's invasive as hell. It's about the most invasive thing we could do. It's the most invasive thing we could do. Is link up like that. So invasive activity means invasive question. Okay? Invasive activity, invasive question. Understand this, y'all. Not every STD or STI comes up on a standard test. Did you know that? So there are some STDs, STIs that you need blood work. You need to be specific when you go in there, and you need to say like, what is this going to test for, and what will it not? What STDs and STIs will it not test for, and how can I get the not? Like, how can we go ahead and get the knots in there too? I want the whole thing. Okay, so blood work. So something like, and you really should go to your healthcare provider about this. But something, for example, like herpes doesn't show up on like a standard test. So, and it's very, very contagious, and it's very, very common. It's not deadly or anything, but it's something that someone can show you one STD test that, and herpes is not on there, but they really have it. But because they didn't get the other test, or because they didn't show the other test, you don't know that you could potentially be exposed to it. Okay. See, this person said, I had a person tell me she was tested and she only did the HPV test, not all the other ones. Screenshot. This is why we need to talk about this, y'all. Because someone can say, yeah, I got tested, and they did in fact get a test, but they didn't get a, to use someone else's word, a comprehensive test. They didn't go through the whole gamut. Okay. And see your healthcare provider. I'm not a doctor. All right. But so talk to your like talk to a healthcare provider about this specifically. Now let's talk about if you do have an STD, STI, and how to navigate that conversation, and then we're gonna go. If you have one, you should be equipped with information. I highly recommend that you don't just stop at, I know that I have it. You should know what it is, what it means, how it's medicated, how this could affect someone else, so that when you disclose it to someone, you're not like, I don't know, like what this means. I don't know, like how you could, I'm not sure. Like, cause that now this looks really, really silly. Okay, so you should be equipped with information, not just that you have it. If you do have one, not just that you have it, but you need to have the context of it. You need to have information around it. How is it passed? How is it medicated? I recommend, and most professionals would recommend this, that you're upfront before physical intimacy. You cannot, so I just said that herpes, for example, is very common and very contagious. Okay? It's very common and very contagious. Just because something is common, or another STD where, oh, you just need to take some pills for a little bit and it goes away. Just because it can be medicated, or just because it's common, you don't get to decide for someone what their level of risk is, what their level of risk tolerance is. Just because other people got it too, you don't get to decide for someone that, oh, well, they should be okay with it. Or, well, they probably dealt with this before. Or, well, it's not that big of a deal. Or, well, they probably can't catch it right now because I don't have an outbreak right now. But just because it's a small chance of anything, that should not stop you from giving someone the information that they need to make the decision for themselves about what their level of risk tolerance is, how much they're willing to accept and or when. If they need to go get more information before they engage with you. Okay? If they want to stop dealing with you because of it, you don't know. And a lot of people will withhold the information out of fear that the other person's going to leave them. We know on the back end, though, that there are plenty of people who would have figured out a way to, or they would have learned more, or they would have accepted it. But it was the dishonesty and the deception that made them call it off. Not necessarily that someone had something, but that you kept it, or that you made a decision about my health for me rather than allowing me to do it for myself. So if you have one, say something before you're physically intimate, regardless of the level of risk or how common it is or how easily medicated it is. I recommend that you set the stage for the conversation. You don't, like, for example, take someone on a really nice date, and then while they're like liquored up or while they're having such a good time, being like, oh yeah, by the way, I want to tell you this like really personal and really important thing that might change the way that you look at me. Like, I recommend that you set the stage for the conversation. Like, tomorrow at dinner, I want to tell you something that's really personal to me, and I just want to give you a heads up about that. Hey, can we go on a walk because there's something that I really want to share with you? Right? Set the stage for the conversation. And understand this. This is the last thing I'll say. And then we're out. Allow the person to process what this means to them. If you're someone with an STD or STI, obviously you want someone to be accepting of it, right? You want someone to be able to learn it or work with it or not leave you because of it. That's every person that has an STD or STI. But understand this, for someone to genuinely accept you, they might need to go through a process of learning more or feeling upset or angry or feeling unsure or confused before they come to acceptance. And if you're the person with the STD or the STI, allow them to go through the process and don't make it about you. Like, oh, well, no one ever accepts me, or, oh my gosh, you're being so judgmental. Don't make it about you, because you're the one with the problem, for real. You're really the one that made it difficult for somebody. So you need to chill and understand that their first response might not be their last response. They might say at first, oh yeah, no problem. And then a day later, a week later, they're like, I was thinking about it and I don't want to have sex with you right now. Or I was thinking about it and I need more information, or I need a break. I need a timeout. Okay. And then so allow someone to go through the process of coming to terms with what it is so they can come to an authentic and confident decision about how they want to deal with you. Okay. Their first response might not be their last response. Their first response might be like, I cannot deal with this at all. And then once they get some more information, they're like, you know what? I actually realized that there's some ways to manage this. And I can actually accept this level of risk. Okay. And for you to allow them to go through that process rather than like, well, you didn't accept it on the front end, so F you. Like, come on, be for real. You the one with the problem. You need to chill. You need to chill. And you need to allow someone to some space. So y'all, I really like that someone asked that question, the STD, STI question, and navigating the conversation, because it is something that is, of course, much more common than we will ever know because of the taboo. People don't come out saying like, I have it, I have it, I have it. But plenty of people do. And people have it and they don't know it. Okay, people have it and they do know it and they don't want to talk about it. So I'm glad that someone asked the question, and I hope that you do make that a part of your conversations if you're dating. All right. So y'all, this is the end of our Q&A. Thanks for listening, y'all. Would love to hear your comments. Drop them below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you liked the content, like it. I'll see you next time.